tremendous looking trophy.
Hello and welcome to Platinum Explosion, number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's John Blight, and joining me, as always, Ashley Holby.
Done. Let's get ready to Destruction!
Good impression.
AllStars!
Did you look up if it's the UFC announcer or?
No, I assume it's a knockoff.
Okay. In case you didn't gather from that, on today's show in the trophy cabinet, we have a platinum because Destruction AllStars is out, the first big first party, well not even first, exclusive PlayStation game for 2021, first exclusive one. A lot of people seem to be, I guess I sort of forgot about it a little bit because it got delayed, of course, from release, and then it got changed to a PS Plus game and all these sorts of things. Anyway, it's out now. Interestingly, though, before we get into it, after we recorded last week's episode, as is the case usually, 12 hours later, roughly, they did release a state of play, and it was a good state of play. Fortunately, we're not going to be talking about that because we've actually played the game. So we kind of missed to talk about the state of play and all the information that was dropped in that, but doesn't matter. We're skipping. We're playing the game. It's out now. We jumped straight onto it as the moment it released. So we've played a little bit of it. So let's get straight into that. Destruction AllStars. Now, the biggest, I guess, question at the moment to get straight into this is because, you know, what the fuck is Destruction AllStars? So I'll give you a go, Ash. How would you explain what Destruction AllStars is, actually?
It's a car game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
It's a mix between Rocket League, Burnout, and Destruction Derby. Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of all those kind of games in which there's all the different formats of matches and that kind of stuff. It's very much a multiplayer game, although there is a single player mode. But yeah, it's a car wreck 'em up, I guess.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, given the little bit of information they were giving in the trailers, kind of may have been looking to look further than it was always going to be. It is rather simple, which is fine, obviously, but I think given everything they were showing with the heroes and all these things, you know, people running out of their cars and stuff. I remember when it got announced, it was always like, okay, so you can get out of your car, like, are you just trying to, can you die? You know, like, there was all these weird things, but it kind of comes together rather naturally. It is literally a destruction derby where you can get out of your car. There are, so let's run through it. There are 4 game modes. There's 2 that you can only play solo. There are 2
which is weird.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. If you're in a party, you should be able to play against each other.
Yeah, you should still,
as well as with each other.
Yeah, I guess the argument they always have is, if we allow you to queue up together, you may work together or something like that. Or argument. I'm like,
no, we want to destroy each other and then shit talk each other.
We just want to be in the same match and try and still win, but just anyway, it's a bit weird. So the first key mode where it's all for all is 8 cars. You enter a dome and you literally just destroy or damage your opponents, everyone, as much as you can. Destroy their cars. Destroying a car gets you more points. Doing damage to a car gets you points, but obviously you get more for destroying a car. KOing someone by like killing them, basically, will get you points as well. And it's arena where you literally just drive a car,
like
so
running them down. You mean?
Yeah, well, or blowing their car up somehow, or
wrecking their car.
However you want to go about it. Yeah. It is rather simple. The controls are, you literally drive the car as you would in any other racing game or what have you. And I think the more interesting, I guess, part of the controls is just having the, what they call it, bash, I think, or dash, whatever, dash, whatever, is the right analog stick. So you push it forward, you get a boost, so you can use that to obviously run away from people, or you can use it to just charge up and head slam straight into someone. And then if you press the right analog stick left or right, then you'll slam sideways, left or right into your opponents. And that is like the core gameplay. It's like, okay, R2 accelerate, you got a handbrake on circle, L2 is your brake, like any other car game, and then you've got the right analog stick. fucking hit cars. It is. It's pretty much
Pretty simple.
as simple as you think it would all sound. Now, of course, there are a few more variables and things thrown into this game to make it a little bit different. So, firstly, when you are inside of a car, you can jump out at any point by pressing X to simply eject yourself, which is better than dying. And then, or if your car gets destroyed and you get thrown out of it, which happens as well, you don't have to like respawn or anything like that to get a car. Cars are just semi-randomly, just always around the arena on these little platform things, and you can jump into anyone you want, take off. There's 3 different car types. One's a speedy one, one's a more nimble one, takes corners better, and then you've got one that's like a strong tanky car that can take more damage and this sort of things, but it's a bit slower. It doesn't take corners as well and stuff like that. And then you've got, as the character, you have your little ability while you're running around. Each character has their own special unique ability that allows them to like double jump, and all the characters are rather nimble. They can literally run on walls. There's these areas above the map where you can run along walls to collect these red power things. I can't remember what they're actually called, but they basically charge up your special meter. Each character has a special meter. Once it's charged up, they can call down their own unique hero car, which is where some of the more fun and interesting parts of the game actually happen. Because although the 3 main cars that everyone can use are fine, all they can literally do is slay one another. Whereas when you get into your character's hero car, that's where they have their own Overwatchy, I guess, element of the game come in, because so a character I've been playing a lot of because of single player stuff, but we'll get back to it. Their hero car drops down a barricade, what do you call it? Like a shield at the front of the car to protect themselves. There's another car that can literally start spinning spikes on its tires. Another one sets jet fuel down everywhere, like starts catching lots of shit on fire. Another one turns invisible. There's 16 heroes, so I can't remember all of the the abilities, but they're the ones that so far I've had to play around with. I think there's another one that makes you just go super fast. There's one that like sets traps or something like that. So they're all unique enough, and that's where the game. So once everyone starts getting into their hero cars, which usually takes first couple minutes of a match, when you've got a bunch of heroes cars flying around and you've got everyone using their special abilities, that's when this game kind of becomes its most unique and interesting at that point, when it's not just Destruction Derby, it's something else kind of special and more bombastic and cartoony at that point. And I guess the other thing is that if you jump out of your car or you lose your car or whatever, you can actually jump on top of other people's cars to try and steal their cars. You can't steal opponents' hero cars though. Even so, when you call down a hero car, you can't like intercept them and steal it, which I actually like, because I think that would have made the game annoying, because I know there would have been people trying to, they would have just stood around and they would have tried to steal people's hero cars. So I'm very glad that they chose not to just allow that. So that's the core gameplay of every mode you're playing. Obviously, each mode is like smash people and do it in different ways. So Mayhem is literally all for all, go for points. The second, I don't remember all the. Hold on, should have got the. I thought
Greedfall or something.
I should have had them off the top of my head. Gridfall is the of a player mode. So this one's basically a battle royale to a degree. It's a big just circular map with not a bunch of obstacles in the middle, but the platforms start falling away randomly as you play. So it's either survive the longest by driving and dodging everyone else and dodging the platforms, or play aggressive and try and slam people off the side of the arena, and obviously survive to be number one. That's as simple as it is. You can lose in 2 seconds, you can win 2 minutes in. Depends on how it goes. So they're 2 single player modes, and then the 2 team modes play off a similar aspect, which is that they both involve having to collect gears, and gears drop when you destroy opponents' cars. So in Carnado, which is
or you can pick them up, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're randomly around the map. You actually have to. They drop from.
Oh no!
They drop
I'm
from.
I'm thinking of the hero shots.
The hero shots, yeah. So the gears in the team modes drop off opponents' cars by smashing into them, and then you have to collect them. So in the first one of these modes, it's 8v8 Carnado. In the center of the map, there's a tornado, a Carnado, if you will, and you have to go around, smash into opponents' cars, collect gears as you do. You get, I think it basically works out that you get more points faster the longer you're collecting gears. It's like sort of that risk reward system. The max you can get up to is 80 gears, and then I think you may get like
that's only in your hero car.
Yes,
I believe.
Yes, I think yes. But I think if you drop that, I think you may get like a certain bonus point or something like that for dropping them all at once or something like that. But it's basically like risk reward, still the same thing. Destroy opponents' cars, collect gears, drop them, get the highest score for team mode. And then stockpile is another variation of this where there's 3 different banks, stockpiles around the map, and you have to collect gears by smashing into opponents. Then you have to drop the gears off at the stockpiles, and then it works out where the control of the stockpiles changes. So you have to gain control of the stockpiles before you can drop gears there, or opponents can try and steal the stockpiles off you, so then they can drop gears there. Basically, it's about collecting gears. So there's your 4 modes, and I feel like Mayhem, the 8 free for alls, is the key mode. It's the one that they're like, this is the way you play the game. Or Carnado is the key team one, I guess. Is kind of how it seems to me. It's like they're the ones that they want people to be playing the most in single player or multiplayer. So I guess that's explaining what the game is, which I feel like is important, because until the state of play, until playing the game, we was very much like, hey, I'm excited to try out this game, but
I don't know what's happening.
Don't know what the fuck it is. And yeah, so it's a lot simpler than we all thought, which is cool. Now that that's all out of the way, we can say that we haven't played that much. I know I've played more than you, Ash, because we'll get out of the way. So we're recording this, what the fuck day is it? Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night. So it's the day it came out. It came out like very early Tuesday morning. And the first 24 hours, as kind of expected, it's having a lot of server issues. Normal. To me, what I say is normal launch day woes for an online game, you know? So was having a lot of that, was struggling to get into games and this sort of stuff. And I'll say again, like I tried jumping on this afternoon to play some more games. I managed to get into a couple, but then I jumped off because it was still just having like weird connection issues. And I look on Twitter and see people say that. So hopefully that gets cleared up soon. So didn't play as much as would probably both have liked, but with what you have played, Ash, was you enjoying it? Do you reckon you'll be keen to play more? Like, what are your initial impressions?
It's likable. I think it's another interesting showcase of the DualSense. I think obviously this is like one of the big first party games, and the first party racing game technically. So feeling the triggers give resistance as you're hitting the brakes or as you're initially accelerating and that kind of thing. That's kind of cool. But yeah, the gameplay so far obviously is a bit hit or miss, literally. But mainly playing against AI and that kind of thing, and kind of getting a taste for the feel of things. So once we get a little bit more multiplayer, then we might get a little bit more enjoyment. But obviously there's the career mode or whatever.
Yeah, so that is something that until state of play, I don't believe that ever talked about. But so if you want to play by own, there isn't a straight up arcade mode where you can just pick a character and just fuck around versus AI opponents for practice or what have you. And on top of that, there's it's like called leagues or
series
or something like that. Yeah. And basically there's one available now, and it focuses on 2 characters where you're playing as, I can't remember.
Ultimo Kid Cardo.
There you go.
Against Gian.
You found that very quick, or
Gian
off the top of your, off the top.
Yeah,
top
I'm looking at this Destruction AllStars Wikipedia.
Damn,
someone's already made a fandom page. Yeah,
fuck, they're fast. So
it is very small.
In that mode, this is basically your single player mode. So in the one that's available now, it's a story mode where it introduces you to 2 characters that are having a rival, and there's 6 levels where each of them's a different challenge. So it's like a time trial course, or one of them's literally just Crazy Taxi, where you straight up just have to pick up people.
Which I guess kind of gives you a hint as to what potential game modes could be coming down the line.
Yeah, maybe that's what they are. They're like sort of testing grounds. Yeah, those sorts of things.
Like, can you imagine like 8-player Crazy Taxi at the same time?
No,
You know,
it would be ridiculous. It would be stupid, but sure.
Where you could potentially just wreck people to steal all the money.
Give it a go. I'll give it a go. Yeah. But that's what the single player is. They've got like 3 challenges per mission, so you can like sort of 3-star them if you want to get the trophy for that, because there's
some of them are ridiculously hard.
Yeah, they were like a lot harder than I expect them to be, but
and probably not going to do it.
But that is there. So if you're like, oh man, online only game, don't really care for online, there is that you can play by yourself, either in arcade mode or by jumping into this sort of story / single player content, which is what all of us, I think, played the most of last night because, yeah, online issues. But was you enjoying that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, something a bit different to what we've got available at the moment. But yeah, still early to tell how long interest will sustain. Okay. I
guess, see, my biggest gripe of the game at the moment is simply, I'm like hating how long it takes to get in our matches, but I'm like, obviously the game's having connection issues, so it's hard for me to fault that at the moment. I don't know. Like, obviously, if this is still happening, I don't know. I'll give it a couple days.
In a couple weeks, yeah.
No, even a couple of weeks. I'll give it a couple of days. Yeah. I understand. See, that's the thing for lots. People don't understand that you can't just set. I learned a while ago for online games where people are always like, just make the server size bigger. You can't just set like infinite as a server size. Like, that's not you have to, for a server to run correctly, you have to have like sort of the low and high numbers set correctly for it to work. Anyway, something along that was my layman's explanation of that. So I understand why online games launch with issues, especially sometimes if the developer hasn't.
Especially when we're downloading it in like the first 3 hours of it being launched.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff, of course. So I give them a couple days, a couple weeks, no fucking way. I'll be like, get your shit sorted by now. But I mean, I've managed to play. As I said, I played a few online last night. I played a few online tonight, and they are fun. Like, once you get in, I remember I was playing like one match this afternoon. Just mayhem, 8 for 8, free for all. I haven't managed to win, by the way, yet, so I'm not going too well. I've been trying to stick to that one character, old mate, who I did the single player with, simply because I've used him in the most.
Ultimo
at this point, yeah, because I'm like, I don't know, I'll try and get one character's sort of. You have to learn the special ability of the car to get good at it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to master that to get good at the game. You have to know how to use. I think
that would be if they put like out a video explaining how each of them work. That would help, or like a tutorial thing inside.
Well, I think
for each character.
So I think I figured out, if you want a tutorial for each character, there's a tutorial called Ignition or something like that, and it runs you through the exact same tutorial, kind of. But I think you can switch characters, and when it gets to explaining the car parts, it varies depending, and like explains that character's ultimate.
Smart.
So I think, from what I could tell, that's what it does. But yeah, when I was playing a match today, I had intense shit. There was, I don't know, I think nearly everyone had the hero car out at one point, and there was just so much shit happening on the screen at some point. Like, there was just fire, poisonous gas, spinning car trap things going on. Another car was just like kind of doing 360 spins across the map somehow. I don't know. So when that was happening, I'm like, yes, this is absolute insanity, and this is kind of the most enjoyable part of the game. But I enjoy how, to get to that stage, you do have the first several minutes of the match where everyone's like, okay, we're just playing Destruction Derby, we're just going to take it cool, just trying to ram over cars. And then as soon as everyone gets to hero cars, it's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't even know what I'm driving through. What's going on now? There's even, so when you're outside of the car, you can actually run across these little circle symbols on the ground. If you time it right, it gets it to trigger a barricade. So if someone's chasing you in a car and you're like running along the ground, you can just run across one of these circles and kind of trick them to run into it on their own doom, which is pretty great. So I was enjoying it for what I'm playing. I definitely want to play more.
We'll say the like traversal on foot felt better than I was expecting.
Surprisingly, aerobatic and nimble and wall running and all that sort of stuff. It feels cool. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's weirdly, it's like, okay, well, is this cross between like Titanfall and Destruction Derby? I don't know. I was going to say something else, but I've just forgot. But nonetheless, on the longevity of it, they did announce in that state of play. They said, okay, we've got planned out content for at least the next year for the rest of 2021. Sorry, like cool. They said new modes, characters, that sort of stuff.
I assume they have more series.
More serious story content stuff will be added, and then of course there is cosmetic items in the game that you can buy with real world cash, which I'm at this stage I'm perfectly fine with. I understand that some people are still like, oh, if it's a full price game, which this technically is, even though it's part of PlayStation Plus. I don't know. It's like a weird,
technically, because you can buy it separate.
It's like a weird grey area, but I mean, as long as you can't buy, it's only cosmetic stuff. So I'm like, whatever. Assassin's Creed literally, they make the games harder to make you have to buy an XP boost. So I'm like, cosmetic shit is fine.
Cosmetic shit's fair game at this point.
At this point, in the world we live in now, the cosmetics in a game you have to pay for. In the world with like NBAs and 2Ks.
As long as you can earn some cosmetics in the game.
You can, yeah. It's just some, there's a couple premium ones that cost real money.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, am I going to be spending 10 hours? Would I sit there and play this game straight for like 8 hours? Obviously no. But will I get bored of it in a week from now, 2 weeks from now, depending on how much we're playing? I don't know. Obviously that's to find out. But at this stage, I definitely just need the servers to be working.
To work.
And I need to be able to play game after game if I want, because, it's like the game loads in so fast and you're like, yeah, cool, press start, you're into the game, fucking PS5, next generation, fucking love this shit, this is awesome. Now spend 5 to 10 minutes in a queue time before getting told that you can't get into a match. Okay, well, that's not particularly fun. I will say it looks, also the art design and just, the way the game looks in general is just very colorful, very bright, very cartoonish. It's fun to watch. Like when cards explode and stuff goes everywhere and, sparks or whatever, little bits of the card smash everywhere. Like it's a good looking game. It's a generally good looking game. I guess the last thing that also surprised me is just how low, it's like 28 gigabytes or whatever it was. Pretty tiny game. Yeah. Like in the scheme of PS5 game installs where everything seems to be over 100 gigabytes or whatever. It's like, okay, pretty small. I can appreciate that. All right, so that's Destruction AllStars. Sure, we'll be talking about it again in the future when we'll play a little bit more, see how we're feeling next week or something like that. Now, the second game I've been playing at the moment is Control Ultimate Edition. So this is the PS5, well, it's on Xbox and PC as well, but it's basically the next gen upgrade. And instead of doing a free upgrade, they did you have to buy the game again. Now, luckily, it's part of PlayStation Plus, which I'll get to in a second because there's one more game part of that, because Destruction AllStars is also part of that. But Control Ultimate Edition is part of your PlayStation Plus, and it is a significant improvement to a game I already loved. And I just put up my review. I moved my score from 8.5 for the original to a 9.5 for this one, because basically I chopped a few points off my original one, as much as I love that game for the technical problems. Like, none of them, of course, ruined my experience with the PS4 version of the game, but it was hard to go, okay, well, the game freezes for a second every time you exit the load screen. The pause screen, that's a bit weird. Doesn't ruin the game, but obviously a bit weird. Frame rate issues were not ruining the game, but were certainly there. Like, I think on base PS4s, people had the worst fucking case of that game. Fortunately, I only played on PS4 Pro, so I don't know. But Ultimate Edition is a game changer. So you've got 2 modes, visual modes, with this release. The quality mode, or whatever the fuck they call it, I can't remember, even though I just wrote my thing, but the quality mode is 30 frames per second, ray tracing, 1440p, then outscaled to 4K from there. So the ray tracing that everyone had on PC, we're not getting the full ray tracing. Like this, I think that this is basically like, imagine ray tracing low on PC. That's what we're getting, like ray tracing low settings. Which still is ray tracing, and it still looks very good. And Control is definitely I would say the sort of, if not the best, top 2, top 3 games to show off what ray tracing looks like, simply because the game has so much fucking reflective shit in its game. Like, you've got all these office glass windows, you've got all these reflective floors, shiny surfaces throughout the game. Like, nearly everything in the game is shiny. It's like, it's a really good example of how ray tracing lighting, because it's ray traced lighting in this game, and how that works. So very beautiful. Ray tracing is nice. It has a photo mode. So whenever I was doing photo mode stuff, yes, you switch onto the quality mode. But I played, and I have been playing the majority of the game in the performance mode, which is 1440p again, outscaled to 4K. No ray tracing, but 60 frames per second. And once you play Control at 60 frames per second, there really is no going back, because it's a game where you're moving so much. So if you haven't played Control, you should, because it's on PlayStation Plus now. But if you haven't played Control, it is a very fast-paced, intense action game, where a third-person action game where you're firing a gun while also doing superhero power shit, where you're lifting up and fucking throwing tables and chairs and all sorts of shits at enemies, and then the enemies are fucking exploding, and the physics in the game are some of the best destruction physics in any game ever, I think, so far to being developed, where you can destroy desks and they'll fall apart like realistically into proper pieces. They don't just sort of magically animate apart or something like that. And anytime you throw something, if you go into one of these rooms where there's like heaps of shit and you're firing guns everywhere, you right analog sticks whipping left right as you're fucking frying shit, you're dodging out of the way, like, because so much is going on. 60 frames per second in this game just is an absolute game changer. After I've been playing this in 60, I'm like, man, how did I play this at 30? How did I enjoy playing this game on the fucking PS4? I have no idea how I didn't hate this game after experiencing playing it at 60. It is, yeah, it's it's definitely the way it was meant to be played. So the other things that are included with the Ultimate Edition, it's all the DLC, both the expansions, plus all the free updates, plus of course the core game. I think, and the biggest problem with this release so far is the fact that you can't transfer your save. They say it's because they're using an updated version of their game engine, and that apparently causes issues. And I'm not a developer, so it's hard to argue. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, it's an updated version of the same engine. Like it's not like it's a new engine. Like, could we not figured out a way to?
Microsoft Word can open up versions from ages ago.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
versions from 1995, and you can't open a save file from 2 years ago.
I have my save files. Yeah, exactly, from 2 fucking years ago. So that is the one big negative with this Ultimate Edition. Apart from, of course, there was the drama when they initially announced it, and people arguing about, is it okay for them to charge for this again? Should it have been a free upgrade? All this sort of stuff. I can't be bothered getting into that. I know we've talked about it on Arcade Couch. At least for PlayStation users, it is on part of PlayStation Plus. So there's the solution to that. Xbox players, we're not an Xbox podcast, so it's fine, I guess. Yeah, kind of. I think they got Control on Game Pass or Xbox Game for Gold or some shit like that. Yeah, but it's the base version.
Gotta love that Game Pass.
what a really
all the games you're dying to play.
I can't believe they announced that so close to this being part of PlayStation Plus, but nonetheless. But otherwise, Control, of course, if somehow you're new to the show and haven't heard me talk about it before, fantastic, weird game. It's like somewhere between the X-Files and a David Lynch movie, and I don't know, like it's a fucking weird, wonderful game that's hard to explain because the plot doesn't really make sense until it does. But you basically play as this character called Jesse Faden who enters this building called the Bureau, who's looking for her brother. And then when she turns up there, she finds the current director of the building, like the director of the FBI. And she walks into this room and he shoots himself in the head. And she's like, well, that's fucked. And then she goes over and picks up the gun that he used to shoot himself with. And the gun's like cool, I put you through this test, and since you passed it, which you do, you're the director now. So then you're the director. And magically everyone else in the building knows you're the director. So now you're the director of this building. And you got to figure out what the fuck's going on. And there's this monstrous evil called the Hiss invading. And you got to fight them and save the day. And inside the building, there's all sorts of weird, wonderful things. And you get all sorts of cool powers, including the ability to levitate, fucking throw shit like a, what do you call it? Telekinesis
Yep.
shit, and throw stuff at people. You have one gun through the whole game, but it can literally change forms between a shotgun, a pistol, semi-automatic, sniper rifle. Like, it just changes because cool shit. And then you've got the 2 expansions, one of which adds Alan Wake, because Remedy's like, yeah, we're just doing our own connected game universe now, and
their own Remedyverse.
Remedyverse, yeah. Which are cool. I'm all about it. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Cool.
Do that. It's cool. But that's Control. It's an awesome game. You don't care for this. You're not going to give this guy. You're like, nah.
Maybe it's there.
It's there.
So
Man. You can't really.
It's more likely to give it a chance.
You should. It's like you've had to pay for it.
I should.
You reckon you should download it and at least give it a go?
At least give it a go for the first couple of hours. See how I feel about it. I know it was number 2 on the Explosion Network's top 10 video games of 2019. Mm-hmm. And quote, its unrivaled combat this year makes you feel like a badass. So I wouldn't mind feeling like a badass. When you
get to the later stages of that game and you're able to fucking to fly up into the air and throw shit at people while shooting them, and you get a shield ability where you can like pull rubble from around you and hold it in front of you. Like, it is the best superhero game that is not a superhero game, basically. Like, power wise, I don't think there's been, I don't know, the beta I played for Marvel's Avengers certainly didn't live up to just to make me feel as badass superhero like as I do in playing Control. So, and Jessie's a great character. Love her as a character. And the voice and animation work in this game's all great. And they know it's great because they do so many moments in the game where the camera, or the virtual camera, whatever you want to call it, like, goes really close up to characters' faces as they're speaking, because they're like, our animation and our mocap is good shit, so we're not scared to show this off. So no, it's really, really good. Everyone should play Control. So all right, let's move into news. That's all part of this to wrap that up. So PlayStation Plus games were announced, of course. Destruction AllStars, we all knew was coming as part of February's. Talked about that. That's great. Control Ultimate Edition, second PlayStation Plus game, PS5 or get on that. That's a great time. Just talked about that. And then the final game as part of your PlayStation Plus PS4 game is Concrete Genie, one of the few games I've ever gave a 10 to, and that is a fucking fantastic game too. So this is a killer month.
Only 2 games have gotten a 10 from the Explosion Network.
And they're both PlayStation exclusives, so.
Yeah. So that doesn't look great, but
but it's
they're deserving.
Yeah. You can't argue with facts. So
listen, we definitely do not get sent anything, so our opinions are completely unbiased.
Yeah. I did get sent a code for Concrete Genie. I paid for Dreams though.
Yeah.
There. See? Yeah, you had to think for a second. You're like, did we? But I did. Remember? We'd already brought it. By the time codes were going out, we'd already brought the
we'd already paid the
early access.
Beta.
Yeah, whatever. Early access or beta or whatever the fuck they call it. And they're like, codes are going out now. I'm like, been playing Dreams for months.
I've already got this.
Anyway, so the PlayStation Plus games, fucking fantastic month. I think it's one of the best. Judging off how much, like, I'm enjoying Destruction AllStars. Obviously, we'll play more, have services. Control, I love. Fucking one of my favorite games of 2019. Concrete Genie was great. One of my favorite games of 2019. This month is just have some of the best games of 2019 and play them. Please, Concrete Genie, Concrete and Control. Have a great time. The 2 C's. Enjoy. You didn't play Concrete Genie either. You gonna play that?
No, probably. I bought it.
Oh my.
I just never got round to playing it.
What's wrong with you? I feel like you'd like that game.
Listen, don't you know I don't play games?
At least you aren't reviewing them, so.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like
Wouldn't do that.
I feel like you would. Yeah, no, that'd be horrible. I feel like you would enjoy Concrete Genie for sure, and Control. I feel like you should at least dive into. So,
all right, yeah. Let's see. Is this the month I play the video games?
No. I behind closed doors or behind the cabaret curtain or whatever. I'm definitely feeling like one of my goals for 2021 was to try and do a better job at not like, because I feel like last year I was like 90% with my head inside video games, and it kind of didn't get to spread as much towards like movies and TV as I would have liked. So I definitely feel like this year I'm like, let's try and spread. I know we do video game podcasts, we do movie podcasts too. ExplosionNetwork.com doesn't say video game website; it says movies, TV, video. Like I know we're on the video game podcast where I'm saying this out loud, the PlayStation one, but still, I just want people to know that I'll play all the PlayStation games, but I'm trying to
I'll try to do the same.
Feels like I'm spreading an for video people. I'm doing like a spreading an asshole impression. I feel or something like that, but
that's not what I was doing.
That's what it looked like to me. All right, so we're only got a couple other bits of news this week because the big piece of news was the fucking Destruction AllStars State of Play, but then the game's out, so whatever. First one, quick bit. I don't really need to discuss this, but I obviously thought I'd mention it. PlayStation podcast. PlayStation Australia tweeted last week that Returnal has got a new release date, April 30th, 2021. Sony Entertainment Europe and Housemarque have made the decision to move the release date in order to give the team extra time to continue to polish the game to the level of quality players expect from Housemarque. See you in April. I don't think there's any need to discuss. I think they've moved it slightly because, as they say here, they're like, we just need a little bit more time. And to that I say, cool. Fine. I know there's been...
Cool. So we can rule out any other game coming out April 30th.
See, someone else mentioned this. Oh, is it because Ratchet and Clank? No, it's not. It's just they just need a little bit more time. It's not everything is a
Ratchet and Clank, 23rd of April.
Not everything is a conspiracy theory. I legit just think it's as open shut case. They just need a little bit more time. Right. I think I actually feel like I'm hoping, and we're seeing it a little bit. So I know people saw it. There was a story about Biomutant. So Biomutant finally got a release date, and then when everyone was like,
"What?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm fucking.
That's actually coming out.
I'm excited to pick up my $500 collector's edition.
That is the current. Is that the current game that we never believed was going to come out?
No, that's still Bayonetta.
Is this the? Oh yeah.
Yeah, come on. Keep up with your.
Still got time.
Keep up with your.
Still got a couple more months to do. Is it though?
Yeah. So Biomutant's coming out, and then when people ask them, I can't remember who did the original interview, like IGN or somewhere, asked them why the game takes so long, like looking for like some, drama or something. Like well, that makes it sound like IGN's bad, but I don't know. Everyone's expecting a usual sort of drama answer, but they're just like, well, the game took a while and we didn't want to crunch, so it took longer. Cool, good,
cool.
Do that, and I'm hoping that's more of what we hear. Like I would love if Housemarque's like, oh, we had to delay it. Like we could have got that date, the original date, but we would have had to crunch. But they're like, oh, we're not going to crunch, so we had to delay it by a couple weeks. Like, cool, good. Just everyone just keep doing that. Like everyone should get used to.
I think. Obviously, the good PR of not crunching is starting to outweigh the potential windfall of releasing it when you're saying, "Oh no, release it."
We get so much good press for it now, which is deserving, I think. And I think anytime a studio comes out and says like, "Yeah, we didn't crunch for this," and like they legit didn't crunch, like they're not like CD Projekt Red, where they're like, "We didn't crunch," with a straight face. We didn't crunch.
We didn't crunch.
We didn't.
And by crunch, we mean eat crunch.
We didn't. Yeah, exactly. But if a developer comes out and they're like, we legit didn't crunch, and we that's why the game took longer than you probably thought it would, then I do think that places should keep noting that and bringing that up, because then they'll hope that's how you keep that change momentum, making sure people know that's what people want to hear. Make sure everyone knows that that's what we want to hear. Of a next tidbit piece of news that might be out. This will be out by the time this podcast is out tomorrow, I reckon. So Santa Monica Studios tweeted that God of War 2018 getting enhanced performance experience for PS5. So brings it up to... So there was 2 modes in the PS4 version Pro. It's important for this story. Originally, you could choose between, I think it was like targets 30, 4K, or a performance mode on PS4 Pro that had 60 frames per second. The PS5 patch make the game be able to play at 60 frames per second, 4K checkerboard, free update. So it's not an actual PS5 version of the game. It is a patch to help the PS5 take...
Patch that it enables, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of people being like, man, why is it 4K checkerboarded? And that has a lot to do with it not being a full like PS5 like remastered PS5 version or something. It's because they're just unlocking the frame rate, unlocking the setting, and going, here, these 2 modes now work together in one. That's your PS5 patch. So cool.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people still keep getting confused with these sorts of stories. Like, I know there was a lot of it around with Jedi Fallen Order a couple weeks ago too, where they're like, there's a PS5 patch coming out. People are like, why is it like 1440p 60? Like, why is it 4K? And I was like, well, it's because they're just unlocking some of the settings. They're not like... Because
they're not going back and re-animating the entire freaking game.
Yeah, they're not like... It's not like a...
For free.
Yeah, it's not a full thing. They're just doing a nice little update. Like, it's what they're doing. It's a lot of what Xbox had already been doing for their
Still
goods.
entitled.
Yeah.
It's bloody gamers.
That's good though. Like, that game will obviously benefit from people. I can see a lot of people jumping back in at 60 4K now.
Yeah. It would technically be easier, right?
Yeah, it will be. I mean, that was the other thing with Control. So there was a boss the first time I played that game, the first boss in the game. I think I died like 5-6 times. And this time I'd beat them first try. And it was nothing to do with me knowing how to beat it this time. It was more because it fucking flies in the air. And I remember playing it on PS4 and I would struggle to hit it often. Whereas at 60, I was just hitting it easier. Because at 60 frames per second, it's a lot fucking easier to hit shit that's flying around in the air. You know, like that is the benefits of 60. And God of War action game where you've got to parry and, you know, that sort of stuff. Block, dodge, all that's just a lot easier at 60. Your reaction time magically gets better. So pretty cool. Maybe I'll jump in, check it out. Don't know. We'll see. Can't remember if I installed it on my external thing or not. It's funny how these patches come in, but they're like PS5 patches, but they're still PS4 games, so I can still have them installed on the external at least. So, and the last bit of tidbit news is in here specifically for Ash. So Eurogamer writes that the Yakuza, Sega has announced that Judgment is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and Stadia, but no PC version. So, in a world where Ash is about to get into his Yakuza fandom, I can see happening. You know,
getting closer
when he finally plays Like a Dragon, he'll be like, I've got to smoke that dragon. What's that saying? Sniff that, smoke that dragon, chase that dragon. Sorry, he'll want to he'll want to chase.
I mean, that's why they're chasing it
to sniff it. Yeah. You're going to finish Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, and you want to chase that dragon. So you'll be like, damn, what's the next PS5 Yakuza game I can play? And now we know it's going to be.
I'll pick the spin-off that's not part of the main franchise.
Yeah, well, it's only other one that'll be available on PS5.
That doesn't have lobsters that you can.
But it's only one available. It's only of a PS5 one. Ash. You're not going to tell me that after going, I'm waiting for Like a Dragon to come to PS5. I can't play the PS4 version. That after playing it, you're going to go, well, I won't play Judgment on PS5. I'll go play the PS4 version of Yakuza Kiwami after being so told that you can't play Like a Dragon until the PS5 version. Because I know
there was a stance toll.
I know you need those PS5 features.
I need them ray tracers.
I don't think it has it, but yeah, all of that you need.
I need those frames that don't matter.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Yakuza spin-off, which first came out as PlayStation 4 exclusive back in 2019, will launch on PS5, Xbox Series X, Stadia on April 23rd, 2021, with refined visuals, 60 frames per second, improved load times, and all the previously released DLC. So if you want to check that out, if you want to get excited, I remember being interested in this too, but I never actually got around to playing it. So this was originally what I thought was going to be my entry point, but never happened. And then I thought Like a Dragon was going to be my entry point, and that never happened either. So I don't know.
Now you're also waiting. You know.
I don't feel like I was
guess
waiting.
we'll have to wait to judge.
Wow, the dragon. wait to judge chasing that dragon.
Chase the dragon so he can sniff it.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's where I'm going to end the show.
What's the Dragon Ball Z theme song? No, it's just Dragon.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z.
All right. You can let us. That'll do it for this week's episode of Planet of Explosion. Let us know any questions, comments, or concerns you have. And I would understand if you had concerns, given the ending of this episode. You can let us know what the theme song is for Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z. What was the next one? Evolution Fusion. No. What the fuck was that? The third one called?
No, it's Rock the Dragon. That's so if we change it to Dragon, Sniff the Dragon.
As I said, if you have any concerns, you can send them to us by tweeting at us. You can find all of our Twitters, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. You can join our Discord by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Discord, and you can tell us how scared you are there as well. Or you can, if you'd like to support the show, and I'd understand if you didn't think this episode was worth $1, but for future ones, it's explosionnetwork.com/support, which will take you to our Ko-fi page. And you can drop as little as $1 there if you thought the episode was worth it. Until next week's episode, keep fucking that dragon.
It's different. That's why the dragons went extinct, because people kept chasing them down and sniffing them. Getting high off the dragons.
Keep getting high off those dragons. Hey, don't forget you can subscribe to the show wherever you're currently listening, and you can drop a review if you can. Find more great shows like this and more content over at explosionnetwork.com. And please consider supporting us for as little as $1 over on our Ko-fi page by heading to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thanks for listening.